17 members and associates of the Hells Angels are facing criminal charges in a violent attack.
Federal agents allege the outlaws sold drugs, traded firearms, and engaged in insurance fraud and even tampered with government witnesses.
We have learned there is cell phone video as well as surveillance video of evidence in this attack.
The U.S. Attorney characterized today's raids as historic, the largest federal bust on organized criminal gang activity.
Retaliation is common for crimes involving biker gangs. However, it could happen anywhere because of how interconnected gangs have become nationwide.
The 3-year investigation resulted in 42 federal indictments on a variety of charges, including racketeering, money laundering, drugs, gambling, insurance fraud, and extortion.
There's a bunch of bikers up here, and they're shooting guns and stuff. I need the police now.
Play on foot going towards 2nd Street. Okay, receive.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today we got more to talk about. New information is coming out about that fight in Indiana. Before we get to that, we got some other things we got to talk about. Shout out to everybody that takes the time to watch this show. I appreciate you. We got a lot of great things on the way. I don't know why Facebook is giving me a hard time. Whatever. So, the Outlaws attack in the bar. It is all over the place. And we're going to talk about it today. We talked about it yesterday, but there's new information out there. People are wondering, why did this happen? Was it a racist attack? Was it over a bar tab? What was the reason all of this even transpired? We're going to get into it right now. Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Slow Ride, what's going on? Not Cuz, what's up? I don't know why Facebook is giving me a problem. So, before we get into the whole bar brawl thing, we got a couple other things to talk about. We're going to talk about these two brothers out in Australia. They're part of a motorcycle club. These two guys right here. So, these guys are descendant bikies. Brothers face deportation to New Zealand after losing federal court appeal. So, they created a motorcycle club, and it was outlawed in Australia. Two brothers who co-founded the now outlawed bikie gang and helped lead a crusade against South Australia's anti-gang laws face deportation to New Zealand after losing bid to stop their visas from being canceled. Tom and Perry Mackey migrated from New Zealand in 1970s, where they are founding members of the Descendants, a motorcycle group now outlawed under South Australia's new anti-bikie laws. Former Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton canceled their visas, declaring it was a national interest. It was a national interest. So people that have two visas, like, if you have dual citizenship, you cannot have that if you're in a motorcycle club out there. It's pretty crazy. On Friday, the full court of federal court dismissed another appeal, while lawyers for the men did not dispute that the brothers did not meet the Migration Act character test. They argued that the minister had jurisdictional errors in its judgment. The full court referenced Australian Federal Police advance, which Mr. Dutton replied on in making his decision. That included assertions that the Descendants played a strong role in unifying other outlaw bikie gangs. such as the Hells Angels, the Finks, the Gypsy Jokers, against anti-biker legislation. The then minister also considered media reports in which he said showed the Mackeys were not only members of the Descendants, OMG, but seemingly proud leaders and public representatives of the OMCGs and their many members in South Australia. The court found Mr. Dutton to be determined that the Mackeys conduct had showed willingness to disobey Australian laws. Lawmakers for the brothers had argued that their conduct was no more than political opposition and involved in no disobedience of the law. So these guys have not been convicted of crimes in years. It's been a long time. And they're being deported just for being a part of this motorcycle club. So that's a pretty crazy situation. But anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's show. It says here, it was never about paying a tab. A witness recounts from Pike's pub beating. This is out of Indiana. A man who was at Pike's pub Friday when another man was beaten spoke to the news on what he saw and what he heard after the video brawl went viral and made nationwide headlines. The man who said he would speak as long as his identity was not revealed. Hold on, I gotta check on Jaws real quick. Nancy. He said he would speak as long under one condition, that his identity would remain anonymous. He referred to he feared retaliation against him and his family from the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. The witness said that he wasn't there long before the chaos broke out. So this guy wasn't in the bar long before all this chaos broke out. One narrative said that has spread on social media was that the man who eventually fell victim to punches and kicks and chairs being thrown at him and racial slurs was skipping out on a bar tab after being cut off. And the witness says that that is not the case. The bartender told him he could have another drink, the witness said. The owner's boyfriend told him he was cut off. And the owner's boyfriend was way more drunk than he was. The witness says it seemed to him that the owner's boyfriend was trying to abuse his authority and kick the man out. The man was a regular, according to the witnesses. He planned on paying his tab, the witness said. He wasn't trying to leave without paying. It was never about paying a tab. Said because he always pays his tab. He's a regular there. According to the witness, the victim had his card out and ready to pay at one point. That's when he says the man wearing the vest labeled Outlaws began to show up. 3 or more of them walked in before the victim could even reply, the witness said. They were even telling him that he needed to leave. And when he went to leave, that's when the owner's boyfriend grabbed his arm and said, "You're not going. You're not going. You're paying your bleep tab." That's when the Outlaws tightened up and squeezed around him. The witness said one of the men dressed in outlaw gear hit the victim in the face, and that's when several other men began to attack the victim, who was black. In the video, at least, one person can be heard yelling a racial slur, and that person was not in the motorcycle club. The witnesses said police weren't called until after the victim had been hit. with punches, kicks repeatedly. Once police arrived, other officers located the victim and spoke to him. According to the police department, the victim did not want to provide any information on the individuals responsible for his injuries, and he was taken to the hospital in fair condition. The sheriff's department and federal authorities might be brought into the ongoing criminal investigation. Now, that's a really bad thing that the feds are getting involved with this. It says whether they could face a federal hate crime due to the language being heard in the viral video. But the thing is, it wasn't the bikers that were throwing the racial slurs. It was the patrons at the table next to the person recording the video. I mean, you could clearly see it, that it's the people around the table that are recording the video who were throwing the racial slurs. So I want to know what your opinion is. I want to know what your thoughts are on this case. Do you think the feds are going to pick it up and turn it into a hate crime? They said the sheriff's department, they asked the sheriff's department if federal authorities might be brought into the ongoing criminal investigation and whether this could become a federal hate crime due to the language used in the viral video. The sheriff's department said the case has been assigned to a detective. It's very, very early in the investigation, and he is still getting the case together. Witness said that he would like to see those seen beating the man held accountable for their actions. I want everybody to not have to feel like they're walking on eggshells when they go into any of these bars, he said. Whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Mexican, Latino, Dominican, everybody should be entitled to go into any bar. And that's the truth. And it's crazy. They're like, I don't know. I think this whole thing is like snowballing into something. Snowballing into some craziness. I mean, the people in the video that were yelling the racial slurs should be held accountable. I think those people should be held accountable. I think maybe they brung it a little too far. Yeah, they brung it way too far. They should have went in there and talked to someone, talked to them, you know what I mean? But when alcohol is a factor, all of that is out the window. All that reasoning shit is out the window. People hear what they want. You have a one-track mind when you're drinking alcohol, and you don't really see the true picture on what's going on. So eventually they'll figure it all out, right? So the mayor's getting involved in all this. We got a couple other things to talk about too. We could get back to this. One second, I'm trying to find something. This is pretty crazy. You guys are going to like this one. If you guys aren't aware, descendants from the Gotti clan under arrest. Yup. These guys beat the shit out of their brother-in-law. Their brother-in-law allegedly broke into the family home and stole some money. Gotti's grandson's accused of beating up brother-in-law in Queed's family. Two of the grandchildren of notorious mob boss John Gotti have been charged with assault after allegedly beating up their brother-in-law during a family dispute in Queens. John Gotti, 31, and Frankie Gotti, 27, were arrested on assault charges on Monday, in which came after an alleged Sunday break-in at their relatives. They were both charged with assault and harassment and were set to be arraigned on Tuesday. The family the dispute began after 31-year-old Gino Grimnelli broke into the Gotti family home on 150th Avenue in Howard Beach to steal $3,300. Gabriella was arrested and charged with burglary and grand larceny and criminal possession of stolen property. The Gotti pair then allegedly confronted their brother-in-law Monday afternoon in front of the 84th Street home after he was released from custody. Gabrielli was punched in the face and he refused medical attention, and the Gottis were arrested. John Gotti had previous run-ins with the law, including 2012 vehicle arson and an unrelated drug arrest. He's the grandson of the Teflon Don and the nephew of Junior Gotti. Gabrielli also had a record, having pleaded guilty to arson back in December 2015 for torching a Mercedes-Benz during a dispute over a catering contract and accidentally setting himself on fire in the process. John Gotti the Elder, the head of the notorious Gambino crime family, was known for his flashy personality and expensive wardrobe. He was convicted in 1992 of multiple counts of racketeering, extortion, and ordering murders of 2 people. He died in prison in 2002. When there's more information about this case, I will bring it to you. So the guy on the right is the brother-in-law. He must be, I can't speculate, but you know what happens when people are on drugs. They start robbing people's homes and shit like that, and, you know. All right, Fort Wayne mayor addresses the violent fight inside Allen County bar. We're going back to the bar fight. I know these pictures are really blurry. Fort Wayne Mayor Sharon Tucker says violence has no place in the community, expressing her concern in a statement on Monday after a video of a bar fight went viral over the weekend. The video was recorded in Pikes pub and Grub, which sits outside the city limits in Allen County, Winchester Road. In the video, a black patron seen being punched, choked, and kicked by a number of white patrons. Some of those hitting the man were wearing vests emblazoned with the insignia of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. The group members have been arrested for everything from battery to drug trafficking. During the assault, it says here that the men were heard uttering racial slurs, but that is not the facts. The fact of the matter is the people that were sitting at the table where the assault was taking place were yelling the racial slurs. It wasn't the people with the outlaw cuts on. People want you to believe that that's what happened, but it was other people in the bar that were yelling the racial slurs. I guarantee you, though, somehow they're going to end up charging these guys with some type of racially motivated attack when it was the people sitting at the table that were yelling the racial slurs. And the whole thing just got way too far out of hand. Like I said, when alcohol is a factor, it's never a good thing. Your whole judgment goes right out the window. The video angered many in the community who have shown up to the bar in the recent days and since and created a petition condemning the acts. Tucker affirmed her belief that Allen County Sheriff's Department will handle the investigation appropriately. My heart breaks when I see violence take place in our community. Fort Wayne is a welcoming and kind city. Recent violent acts we've experienced have no place here. As the mayor, it is my duty to be transparent and keep our community as safe and informed as possible. The incident at Pikes Pub outside the city of Fort Wayne limits is under the jurisdiction of Allen County Sheriff's Department. I have confidence and trust that their ability will bring the people responsible to justice. The Fort Wayne Police Department has and will continue to assist Allen County Sheriff's Department in any way that is needed. See, I have a strong feeling that these guys will be arrested in the coming days, because it doesn't matter if the guy doesn't want to press charges. The shit's on video. And if it's on video, the state will just pick it up. It doesn't even matter if people want to say what happened, don't say what happened. It's on video. So it's kind of hard to dispute a video that's going around. I mean, what are you going to say? It didn't happen? Says, I continue to be proud of the work that is being done each day by the brave men and women of our police department. The homicide clearance rate has been 100% so far in 2025, with suspects either arrested or warrants issued. The department is working to tirelessly on the Coleridge Street homicide over the weekend. I guess there was a homicide there. It's my prayer that our city will come together in peace and humanity during this challenging time. We are better when we work with a common goal and understanding to love and respect one another. So what are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you think these guys will be charged with a hate crime? How far do you think they're going to bring all this? Do you think it's going to transpire into something that's crazy, like some federal hate crime case? Because that would be insane. It really would be insane. So I showed this picture yesterday. I thought it was hilarious. Where the hell did it go? This one. How many of you guys got one of these? The new DUI glide. Huh? How many of you people riding on this? You think I'm right? Not cuz. Sleeping Joe, what's going on? How are you? How many of you people got this DUI glide for the summer? Hold on, let me get Nancy. Come on, Nancy. What are you doing? Nancy's getting big. You guys probably won't even believe it when you see her. She's getting big as hell. Let's see here. Bam! Nancy's in the building. What's up, Nancy? You want to say hi to the people? She is getting a lot bigger. I mean, she was 10 pounds when I got her. 10 pounds. Now she's about 19 pounds. Oh. But she's doing great. Nancy sends her regards to you guys. Ain't that right, Nancy? She don't like it. So I got some videos to show you guys. Let me put her down, and we'll get to the videos. I'll be right back. After these messages. She starts barking, I'll just toss her outside. But shout out to everybody watching the show. I appreciate you. If you guys haven't seen Vice, go check it out. United Gangs of America. We got a couple videos for you guys, some crazy videos. So let's check out the first one. This is coming from Florida. This is a wild one. Check this out.
Tonight with that Fox 35 exclusive, 2 motorcyclists are recovering after a collision with a foot-long alligator on I-4. It sent them to the hospital. Thanks for
Hold
joining
on,
us
I'm
here.
trying to get this together. Let me get this.
Tonight with that Fox 35 exclusive, 2 motorcyclists are recovering after a collision with a 6-foot-long alligator on I-4. It sent them to the hospital. Thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Hannah McKenzie. FHP says the bikers were traveling along the inside lane of I-4 near mile marker 110. That's in Orange City when it happened. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte exclusively spoke with those injured bikers tonight. Steph, this one is a wild one. Only in Florida. How are they doing?
Yeah, truly only in Florida, but amazingly, they're both doing okay. And I say that because of what happened. They were both thrown off their bikes after hitting the gator, landed on the pavement on I-4, and they were left with just a few broken bones. They're both in great spirits, but just can't believe what happened.
A couple bikes moved a little bit left and right, and next thing I know, I got a big blob in the road. I didn't know it was gator. I thought it was a semi-tire that had come off, a retread or something.
But it was a 6-foot alligator that Cameron Gilmore hit on I-4.
What are you guys' thoughts on this? An alligator in the middle of the road. What do? You're riding on your bike. All of a sudden, boom, there's an alligator.
Brandy Gross was right behind him. They were riding with a big group of bikers, and she hit the gator right after him.
I just seen something, and once I realized what it was just too late. I was like, oh crap, and the impact happened. I flipped over, and it just wasn't expecting a gator to be in the middle of the road right there.
You can see in this video from Saturday night, the alligator on the side of the road and paramedics on the scene. The impact of hitting that 6-foot gator threw them both off their bikes.
I said, help me, Jesus, and I just kept flipping. I'm like, when is this going to stop? And then I started sliding, and I'm like, when is this going to stop? I'm just sliding and sliding and sliding. And then I went off the road into the grass, and couldn't move much. My whole right leg was numb, and my other leg was numb.
Cameron has a broken foot and several broken toes. Brandy had a concussion, and the bone on the side of her wrist is cracked.
The way I landed, I must have an angel looking over me or something, because I just got very lucky. It could have been a lot worse.
Despite what happened, both are in great spirits.
They're calling me Gator Gilmore instead of Florida Man. I'm getting called Florida Man, too.
Brandy's family has a new nickname for her, too.
They call me Gator Ninja because I was on a Ninja 650, so.
Brandy's running with the gator may have her second-guessing her favorite college football team, too.
I was actually a Gators fan before this, and I was telling my mom, because my family's always been divided, I said I might end up going Knowles. I don't really care for Gators too much now.
They both were just so sweet and in such great spirits. Now, I will say they both said that they had not only a helmet, but elbow pads and other gear on, and that is the reason why they think that they are alive and okay and on the road to recovery. We did reach out to FWC to ask about what happened with the gator. They said that a trapper was sent out to assess the injured gator, but we haven't heard if it survived.
Who cares, right? It's in the middle of the road. This is probably getting hit by a car anyway. I'm sure that happens all the time, but to hit a gator with a motorcycle, it's pretty nuts. I'm sure cars hit gators all the time. So we were talking about those two brothers earlier. Let's check out a video that has to do with them.
Family of 2 notorious South Australian bikies about to be deported are making an 11th hour plea to the Immigration Minister to intervene. Tom and Perry Mackey are being sent back to New Zealand 52 years after emigrating. Their visas torn up due to bad character.
One final flight to Melbourne before their dad and husband is thrown out of Australia.
very emotional time for our family.
Tom Mackey and his brother Perry, the pair that founded the Descendants bikie gang, are set to be deported to the land of their birth, New Zealand, within the next 48 hours, even though they've lived here in Australia for 50 years.
They built their whole life here in Adelaide with all the grandkids and the great-grandkids and wives, family. Yeah, it's pretty devastating news for us.
The family posting this video to social media, urging the authorities to stop the 70 and 68-year-old from being deported.
Australia is their home. Australia is their home. Australia is their home.
Yeah, we all have young kids that we just want to grow up with them.
The Descendants are a declared outlaw motorcycle gang, and the brothers played a prominent role in fighting the state's harsh anti-bikie laws. They were taken into custody in December of 2020. The temporary visas cancelled on character grounds. They've been in detention in Melbourne ever since.
These aren't the first people that have been deported from Australia as a result of criminal offending or their criminal history.
A Home Affairs spokesperson has told 10 News First all non-citizens must satisfy the Migration Act. That includes security and character requirements. The family urging the Federal Immigration Minister, Tony Burke, to step in.
We just want someone to read their case.
Open their case file. He hasn't even done that. They're loving husbands and fathers. They're the complete opposite of what they're trying to portray them to be.
So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think they should be deported? New Zealand has strict motorcycle club laws out there too. You can't wear certain patches. Who knows what's going to happen with these guys, but they're definitely getting booted out of the country. That's a pretty crazy situation. But like I said, go check out United Gangs of America. You'll see your boy was featured on the show. It's the season premiere. It was last night. Has to do with the Pagans Motorcycle Club. Go check it out. It was a pretty good experience. But shout out to everybody that watches this show. There's a lot of big things in the works. I'm going to keep bringing you the best content possible. Coming up tonight, we got Hatchet, 10 o'clock. Talk about the whole Waco situation. It's a pretty crazy interview, so go check that out. If you want to see the full interview, join the membership or join Patreon, and you can get exclusive content over there. If you want to see these videos of these fights and things like that, unedited, go check out Patreon, and you can see it all there. I appreciate all this. Everything you guys do for me, I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.